How do you average 17 points a night, own a highlight reel full of ankle-breaking crossovers, and still wake up blacklisted by every front office in the WNBA? Chennedy Carter's downfall wasn't a slow fade or a devastating injury. It was a 5-second detour, one blindside hip check that detonated her career and forced her to search for paychecks south of the border. Tonight we're unpacking every layer, the whispers that followed her out of college, the Atlanta suspension no one could explain, the Hollywood honeymoon that lasted barely a season, and the viral hit that made her radioactive. Stick around, because her exile in Mexico may only be Act 1 of a wilder redemption story. Quick breath. But first, remember this number: 4 billion. That's the total lifetime video views Caitlin Clark content pulled across TikTok and Instagram last season. Compare that to the one-year wipeout of Chennedy Carter's reputation, and you'll see exactly how ruthless the new WNBA economy has become. Spelled with an N, not a mistake. Her mom wanted a name people would remember. By high school in Mansfield, Texas, she was already a walking headline. 40-point outbursts, talk trash grin, viral Vine clips before TikTok existed. When she landed at Texas A&M, Coach Gary Blair told reporters, "She's the first player I've ever had who can create a bad shot, then make it look brilliant." As a freshman, she poured in 23 a night, the most by any SEC rookie since Saudi Roundtree in 1995. "She's one of those rare kids," Blair joked, "who thinks the rim is a magnet and the ball is metal." But magnetism has a flip side. Teammates quietly admitted that Chennedy's competitive fuse was as short as her release. She'd bark at freshmen in practice, get into stare downs with refs, and once punted a water bottle so hard it ricocheted into the stands after an overtime loss to Mississippi State. Coaches chalked it up to passion. Scouts filed it under emotional volatility. None of it mattered on draft night after she left school early. Her 22.5 PPG career average was too loud to ignore. Atlanta scooped her up at number 4th overall in 2020, convinced the right mentor could polish the edges. 8 months later, the edges were slicing their own locker room. COVID bubble season, no fans, all games in the Florida Wubble. Carter erupted for 35 against Seattle, the youngest WNBA player ever to break 30, but also racked up double-digit technicals before the year ended. Season 2 started even messier. In July 2021, after a loss to Las Vegas, teammates say Carter exploded over defensive assignments, slammed a chair, and had to be separated from veteran guard Courtney Williams. One day later, the Dream announced an indefinite suspension for conduct detrimental to the team, refusing any specifics. For 5 weeks, Carter vanished from league cameras. No interviews, no tweets, except a cryptic, "Loyalty greater than everything." When reporters asked if she'd be reinstated, Atlanta's interim coach Mike Peterson replied, "That's above my pay grade." Translation: the front office was weighing whether her scoring outweighed constant turbulence. Their answer came in February 2022, a trade to Los Angeles for practically nothing. Internally, it's admitted they would have waived her if no one bit. That move should have been the wake-up call. Instead, it became a city swap intermission before her most public meltdown. Los Angeles looked perfect on paper: bigger media market, veteran stars like Nneka Ogwumike to shepherd her, and a franchise desperate for punchy guards. Carter hit the ground sprinting, 14 points off the bench opening night, then silence. Over the next month, her minutes plummeted from 26 to single digits. Beat writers spotted her leaving shoot-around early. One practice source claimed she ghosted a film session entirely. Head coach Derek Fisher offered the gentlest reprimand possible. "We have standards. She knows what they are." By August, Carter's stat line read stranger than fiction, 3rd on the roster in PER, yet tied for most DNP coaches' decisions. The Sparks missed the playoffs, cleaned house, and quietly waived her. She was 23. Only 4 top 5 picks in league history had ever been cut that young, and none averaged double figures at the time. Enter Teresa Weatherspoon, newly hired by Chicago, with a mandate to energize fans and speedrun a rebuild. She called Carter, asked 2 questions. "Are you in shape? Are you coachable?" Carter answered yes to both. The Sky rolled the dice on a 1-year prove-it deal. For half a season, it looked like a jackpot. 2024 opener, Carter drops 28 in 28 minutes and waves the United Center crowd to its feet. Chicago newspapers dub her the ignition switch. Rookie post Camila Cardoso calls Carter's first step like chasing wind. Through May, she's top 5 league-wide in drives per game, shooting a career-best 50% and single-handedly dragging a roster of first-year players to upset wins. When she pinned a Leilani Mitchell jumper off the glass and roared to center court, ESPN's announcer shouted, "Carter is back. The league better buckle up." Behind closed doors, though, Sky vets described practices as roller coaster intensity. One assistant told The Athletic that Carter could light up scrimmages, then vanish mentally during drill breakdowns. Still, the staff figured they'd iron out wrinkles in time. they never got the chance. Because on June 1st, a sold-out Gainbridge Fieldhouse witnessed a 5-second decision that muted every highlight she'd produced all spring. Fourth quarter, Sky up 1. Carter hits a pull-up, backpedals, and glances left. Caitlin Clark jogs by, eyes down court. Carter crosses paths, almost clears her, then plants, pivots, and shoulder checks Clark square in the hip. The rookie flies sideways, skids across the paint, broadcasters gasp, 17,000 fans boo in unison. Ref blows it dead, a common foul. Twitter blows it louder, assault. Clark pops up, brushes off her shorts, drains both free throws, and smirks. Carter slaps her hands, barking at nobody. When the final horn sounds, Fever 71, Sky 70, replay angles hit social media like wildfire. Within 4 hours, the clip ranks #1 on YouTube's trending tab, garners 14 million views on X, and sparks think pieces on physicality versus targeted aggression. The next morning, the WNBA quietly upgrades the play to flagrant 1, unnecessary and excessive. Yet that alone might have faded if not for 7 words that torched every remaining bridge. Post-game presser, national cameras rolling, a reporter tosses a softball. Chennedy, take us through that moment with Caitlin. What happened? Carter leans forward, lips barely part. I ain't answering no Caitlin Clark questions. Silence stretches. Another hand goes up. She repeats the line, then walks out. The clip lasts 13 seconds and explodes just as fast as the foul itself. Casual viewers suddenly have a villain. Pundits shift narratives from hard play to cheap shot artist. On ESPN's NBA Today, Chiny Ogwumike sighs, "You have to own your actions." Walking out tells every GM she's still uncoachable. WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert, already guarding her league's newfound ratings goldmine, phones Chicago's front office for a culture check. Privately, the Sky schedule a player-only meeting that insiders describe as tension nobody could slice through. For the rest of the season, Carter scores at will, but the hip check loops on every away arena jumbotron. She refuses follow-up questions. Clark, for her part, downplays the feud. Basketball's physical. I'm good. The contrast can't be starker. Rookie poise beside veteran sullenness. Season ends. Carter leads the Sky at 17.5 points. 50% shooting, 33 games played. Her healthiest year yet. And then the door slams. January 15th, 2025. Teams may extend qualifying offers to restricted free agents. Chicago does nothing. February 1st arrives. Carter is officially unrestricted. Agents dial every GM response ranges from polite pass to blunt, hard no. One executive leaks to Sports Illustrated, "She's a top 5 scorer, but we won't touch her. Locker room integrity wins championships." Blogs wonder if the league is blackballing her. Engelbert issues a neutral statement. Teams make decisions individually. By mid-April, training camps open. 11 franchises fill their final guard spots with rookies, veterans on minimums, even a 32-year-old who last played in Turkey. Carter watches each signing scroll across her phone with no alerts bearing her name. The sports business data site Sportico estimates she's leaving at least $160,000 in WNBA base salary on the table by remaining unsigned. Money smaller leagues abroad can't match. With nothing left to lose, she pivots to Plan B, and Plan B sits 1,400 miles south, in a league most US fans have never streamed. April 27th, 2025, 8:32 p.m. Central Standard Time. Bienvenida Chennedy flashes across Adelitas de Chihuahua's Instagram. Mexico's Liga Nacional de Baloncesto Profesional Femenil, LNBP, spent the last 3 seasons poaching fringe WNBA talent with higher tax-free salaries and all-expenses housing. Sources peg Carter's deal at $160,000 plus individual sponsorship carve-outs. Respectable, but the true lure is alpha status. Adelitas promises 35 minutes, the greenest light in the hemisphere, and a chance to headline an expansion push that streams games on Twitch in 3 languages. Chihuahua's home arena seats just 7,800, roughly 1/3 of the average WNBA venue. Yet the club controls local TV rights, meaning Carter's face now blankets northern Mexico billboards promoting La Reina del Dribbling. She'll share the backcourt with Victoria Vivians, another former Indiana Fever guard looking to reboot her career. Coaches expect nightly 30-point fireworks and have even floated installing an entire offense dubbed C System, built on Carter's downhill attacks. But spectacle can't mask reality. The LNB's travel buses don't rival private WNBA charters, and social media algorithms rarely boost south-of-the-border highlights to US casuals. For Carter, this is both refuge and purgatory. While she unpacks in Chihuahua, the WNBA experiences a surge unseen in its 28-year history. Caitlin Clark's Fever jersey sells out 5 nationwide restocks. The league inks a new media deal with Amazon and NBC worth a reported $240 million, quadrupling the previous package. Owners approve charter flights for every team, and Engelbert signals salary cap expansion by 2027. Culture, not just skill, stands as the golden rule. Teams issue social media guidelines, workshops on conflict resolution, even hire full-time player development psychologists. Within that context, Chennedy Carter becomes a cautionary slide in PowerPoint decks. Elite scoring is replaceable, positive PR is priceless. Rookie orientation seminars now dissect her fall alongside Brittany Griner's 2022 arrest and Liz Cambage's 2023 walkout, case studies on career risk management. But is Carter's story really over, or just paused? In early April, before she inked the Adelitas deal, EuroLeague club Fenerbahce scouts allegedly contacted her agent. They loved her 2024 Chicago tape, but needed a guarantee, public apology, commitment clauses, maybe even anger management sessions. Carter hesitated, wary of performative remorse. Negotiations fizzled. Insiders say Europe might revisit the offer if she lights up Mexico and repairs optics. That last part may prove harder than dropping 40 on Monterrey's defense. So far, Carter's lone attempt at image rehab is a contentious podcast appearance alongside YouTuber Neon, where she called the hip check a love tap and blamed the media for amplifying nonsense. The clip netted 1 million views and reignited backlash because she laughed while comparing herself to Jeff Teague hip-checking LeBron. If she hopes for a day return, agents insist she must shift from defiance to accountability. That means a sit-down interview, maybe even a joint PSA with Clark about sportsmanship. Whether Carter's pride will bend is the million-dollar mystery. Sports history overflows with prodigies whose attitudes eclipse their abilities. Stephon Marbury, Dwight Howard's late prime tour, DeMarcus Cousins. Most found late career peace once humbled by smaller contracts or foreign leagues. Carter's Mexican chapter mirrors those arcs, but with a modern twist. Social media never forgets. The hip check gif will resurface every signing day until a fresher story buries it. She can't outrun it, she'll have to outgrow it. All the while, fans split into 2 camps. One group cheers her exile as proof the league finally enforces standards. The other argues the punishment outweighs the crime when male athletes retain jobs after worse. Both camps fuel clicks, ensuring the controversy endures, ironically keeping Carter's name alive even while she's off US soil. And that sets up the final question you'll answer in the comments. Picture yourself at 26, arguably in the prime of your craft. One impulsive play, less than 5 seconds, sets off a chain reaction that costs you your dream league, your endorsements, maybe your legacy. You get a second chance abroad, but it's a smaller stage, and every step you take carries the echo of that one mistake. Do you swallow pride, craft a public apology, and fight your way back? Or do you double down, paint yourself the misunderstood anti-hero, and carve a legend somewhere else? Chennedy Carter is making that choice in real time, 1,400 miles from the league that once crowned her future. We'll keep tracking her season in Chihuahua, because if she eclipses 40 a night and finally owns her story, phones in New York and Phoenix might start buzzing. Until then, her saga stands as a living scoreboard where talent and temperament wrestle for the final shot.